Hey guys, happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It is 4:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I've been trying a few different types of videos. Sometimes when I try to do an more informational video, more of a news type video, it's not really my thing. I don't like the way they come out sometimes. I have a hard time. I have to sit here and try to remember all the numbers and everything. I feel more comfortable when I do more of a editorial, more of an opinion piece. Um, I hope you guys like it. It comes out more naturally. It's more of my real personality. Whether or not people will enjoy that, I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, what I want to talk about today is Bernie Sanders. It's interesting because I was reading a few different articles where I'm not sure exactly who different Democratic senators, or not senators, I'm sorry, congressmen, are pulling their hair out, getting all nervous because of Bernie Sanders doing so well in the New Hampshire and Iowa primaries, and Biden not doing well. And these are a couple. These are the congressmen from what they call the battleground states, and I'm not sure exactly which ones they're referring to here, but um, apparently these battleground states, the congressmen from there are nervous. They feel that that Bernie Sanders doesn't stand a chance against Trump in their states, that he's too far right, the socialism tag and all that. It may be, but you know what? I think that right there in itself is appealing, and appealing to a lot of people. The fact that these congressmen are talking about, well, what are we going to do about this? And it almost sounds like they're like they're almost insinuating that they would derail Sanders' campaign, or try to calm him down and try to bring him more mainstream, which I highly doubt will be doable. Um, Now, this, I think, appeals to a lot of people. A lot of people, including Trump supporters, are tired of the same old status quo, the same old, same old. And just the fact that these congressmen are worried, are upset, are that Bernie Sanders isn't somebody they want to run for president, that in today's climate, in today's atmosphere, it almost makes that person more appealing, because then you know that he is not part of the business as usual. And to Trump supporters and non-Trump supporters alike, that's appealing. That's a very appealing. People are just tired. They want something new. They want to try something new. And I thought about this. I was reading this article about these congressmen being nervous, about Bernie Sanders, and as I read this personally, I find this a plus, that these congressmen are worried about him. That makes him more likely to get my vote. Actually, the term "go big or go home" started to pop up in my head. Initially, I was leaning towards Biden because he seemed the most likely, the most likable, the most likely to beat Trump, the most likely to the biggest cross section of voters. And I think a lot of people have changed their minds on that. And you can tell by Biden is dreadfully low in these the primaries and whatnot. So I honestly, even if Hunter did nothing wrong, him and Hunter did nothing wrong, it's hurt him. It's without a doubt this his initial effort to soil Biden. It worked. It did. It's created a question mark. And you know what? You know what I think it boils down to? I think it boils down to the fact that people are just sick and tired of hearing Biden's name now. Biden Trump investigation. They're just sick and tired of hearing it. And who knows? A lot of things. It's amazing how quickly things change in this political atmosphere, where it happens every 4 years, where somebody's up, somebody's down. Everybody thought Hillary would beat Trump, no problem. It's amazing how wrong polls and opinions and how fast things change, really, in this atmosphere. But anyway, back to Bernie. I'm really starting to like him personally. I love the enthusiasm is fantastic. I believe that's what we need just as a country, plus as someone to beat Trump, just an enthusiasm. Looking back at 2016, I said in yesterday's video, I believe I said it was a choice between bad and worse. It was to the point where people were just like, nobody was really enthused about either candidate. Um, and that's just no way. If that continues, that's just it's not good for our country or democracy. Um, and I think people and our election can be tampered with when people are that melancholy that they really don't care. So anyway, back to Bernie. And I really believe the millennial generation. I don't think the Generation Z. I don't believe are of voting age yet, but the millennials especially seem very enthusiastic about. And I can understand why, because it brings them hope again with the help with tuition or the free tuition and housing and all that. It's very brings back a lot of hope to that whole generation. And I agree. I agree with it. He's a little scary, I think, to the older people who don't understand socialism, democratic socialism, communism. But a lot of times, I think that's what you need. You need somebody that's a little scary. That's that scares people a little bit. Um, because that makes other people enthusiastic that they're voting for the right person. Um, Sometimes it's the greater risk you take, going big or going home again. Voting for the guy, it's like all or nothing kind of attitude, I think. And then there's Buttigieg too. I like him too. So we'll see as Super Tuesday comes up. Who comes out on top on all this. But going back to my video, basically, this whole video was basically about those, how there's some Democratic congressmen from these battleground states that are nervous and don't want Bernie to become the top contender for the Democratic nominee. And again, to people like me, that makes him appealing. And I think I'm guessing that there's a lot of other people that feel the same way. That when the group of same old people want a particular person, I've always been rebellious in that aspect and going and swimming against the current. I think a lot of other people feel that way now too in the political atmosphere. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see how Bernie does. All right, you guys have a great Valentine's Day.